So welcome back once again to Swayam Educational Foundation, a charitable initiative for educated and empowered Bharat. We were doing chapter number 5, parties and party systems. First part has been released, and this is the second part which we are going to begin with. So, as if you remember, we ended in this slide only where we were talking about why 1960s era was called a dangerous decade. So now the first part which we did, that Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru passed away during this time period, and what happens if he has passed away? So the basic question was, after Nehru, who will succeed? Now, this is Nehru to Shastri, 1964 to 1966. So the first question which was asked, that after Nehru, who? The well response was, and very smooth response, undisputed, unanimously elected leader of the Congress Parliamentary Party, and thus became the country's next prime minister, and he was Lal Bahadur Shastri. A very simple man, came from very you can say rural background, and he was very simple personality, but very well known personality, learned person. So Shastri was a non-controversial leader from Uttar Pradesh. Especially he fought his elections from Fatehpur seat, who had been a minister in Nehru's cabinet for many years. Nehru had come to depend a lot on him in his last years. So resigned from the position of railway minister, accepting moral responsibility for a major railway accident. So what happened during 1963? There was a major railway accident, because of which he took the moral responsibility that this happened during his tenure, and that's why he resigned from the railway minister post. So during Sastri's brief prime ministership, the country faced two major challenges, that is war with Pakistan and acute food shortage. So these were two things which happened at the time. So the problem was that India was going through a transition phase from Nehru to Shastri, though the political change or transition was very smooth, but India faced a lot of crisis, say 1965 war with Pakistan. So Shastri's famous slogan, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, symbolized the country's resolve to face both these challenges. When he said Jai Jawan and Jai Kisan, so these were twin problems which India was facing. The first one was uh, there was already one war with China in 1962 and another war with Pakistan in 1965. And then there was a problem of food shortage in India. And for that, he talked about Jai Jawan and Jai Kisan. So Shastri's prime ministership came to an abrupt end on 10th January 1966 when he suddenly expired in Tashkent. So what happened? Tashkent, it was the earlier the USSR's capital of Uzbekistan. What happened? This place, India went for an agreement after 1965 war, in which Pakistan was defeated. So there was an agreement to be signed in Tashkent, where they were supposed to meet, and where it is said, we don't know what is the reality, but he died there. So he was there to discuss and sign an agreement with Muhammad Ayub Khan, the then president of Pakistan, to end the war. To Indira Gandhi, 1966 to 1977. Now, from here, as I told you earlier also, inside tussle began. Now, what happened? Congress faced the challenge of political succession for the second time in 2 years. And this time there was an intense competition between Morarji Desai and Indira Gandhi. So these were two political contenders who wanted to become the Prime Minister of India. So what happened? Morarji Desai, if we talk about, he has served as the Chief Minister of Bombay, now as Maharashtra and Gujarat. Whereas if we talk about the Indira Gandhi, so Congress President in past and Union Minister for Information and Sastri's cabinet. So in Lal Bahadur Shastri's cabinet, she was the information and broadcasting minister at that time, and she had a quite a good experience of doing in ministries. So Indira Gandhi was chosen over Morarji Desai to succeed after Shastri. So what happened? In a vote, it was decided that Indira Gandhi will succeed rather than Morarji Desai. So why Indira over Morarji Desai? There were several reasons. We need to understand. And if you see this cartoon, this is really important. We are going to discuss this cartoon only. If you see this cartoon, all the main leaders of that time, the stalwart leaders, they are standing around and making Indira Gandhi to stand at the podium and having first position, whereas if you see Morarji Desai in the backdrop, he is just running. So the senior Congress leader may have supported Indira Gandhi because they had some belief. What was the belief? The first thing was that her administrative and political inexperience would compel her to depend on them to support and guidance. Because they were senior leader, they thought that Indira Gandhi would come time and again to take or to seek the political guidance from them. Another thing, these political leaders who were very powerful and senior most, they were called as syndicates. So what they also thought, that they will be able to control the government through Indira Gandhi. That means they wanted Indira Gandhi to be a remote prime minister. So moreover, she carried the legacy of Jawaharlal Nehru. The third important reason was because she was the daughter of Jawaharlal Nehru. That's why she was given this opportunity. So senior leader in the party decided to back Indira Gandhi, but the decision was not unanimous. So the contest was resolved through a secret ballot among Congress MPs. Indira Gandhi defeated Morarji Desai by securing the support of more than two-thirds of the party's MPs. A peaceful transition of power took place. Though there was intense competition for leadership, but still there was a sign of maturity that it was a peaceful transition. Internal democracy for the first time we saw in Congress, and probably the last time we have seen. So if we see the fourth general election 1967, the year 1967 is considered a landmark year in the Indian political or electoral history. Congress party was the dominant political force throughout the country from 1952 onwards. This trend was undergo significant change with the 1967 elections. So 1967 elections were going to change the face of this electoral system at all, means in all respect. So challenges for Mrs. Indira Gandhi before 1967 election. So fourth Lok Sabha elections were supposed to be held in 1967, and what happened? What were the challenges? The first challenge, Prime Minister, who was being seen as a political novice, had been in office for less than a year. So she had not even completed a year as a prime minister, and they have to go for the election. Second, this period was fraught with the grave economic crisis. At this time, India was undergoing through great economic crisis resulting from successive failure of monsoon and widespread drought. This led to the food shortage in India and decline in the agricultural production. So what happened because of this? We have to import the foods, and because of importing food, the foreign exchange reserves drop in industrial production and exports. So combined with the sharp rise in military expenditure, because we have to fight two successive wars. One was in 1962, another in 1965. So what happened? We have to increase our military expenditure and diversion of resources from planning and economic development. So you can see when this decade was called a dangerous decade. Why it was called? Because several things were combined together. So the economic situation triggered off price rise. So because of this, prices increased. People started protesting against increase of prices of essential commodities, food, scarcity, growing unemployment, and overall economic condition in the country. Bandhs and hartals were called frequently across the country. The communist and socialist parties launched a struggle for greater equality. So all these things came together, and Indira Gandhi, less than 1 year in the prime ministership, she was supposed to take great decisions, quick decisions, if she has to remain in the power. So what happened? Non-Congressism. Now, this is another word which we need to understand, that this word was basically coined by Ram Manohar Lohia. And he gave this strategy of non-Congressism. And why did he give? Because he thought that parties opposed to the Congress realized division of their votes kept the Congress in power. This is a major drawback of first past the post system, where a party which is not even getting the majority of votes, still it manages to be in power because the other opposition votes get divided among them, and that's why it emerges as the single largest party. So that was the main reason it was realized by Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia. So thus parties that were entirely different and desperate in their programs and ideology got together to form anti-Congress front. You must be seeing at present like anti-BJP fronts are being formed. In the same manner, at that time, anti-Congress fronts were formed. They felt that the inexperience of Indira Gandhi and the internal factionalism within the Congress provided them an opportunity to topple the Congress. So the socialist leader Ram Manohar Lohia gave this strategy and named it as non-Congressism. So now elections were held in 1967, and what happened in these? These elections of 1967 are called political earthquake. And why they are called political earthquake, we need to understand and we need to think about it. What happened? Because the Congress was facing the electorate for the first time without Nehru. So ever since the independence, first time there was no Nehru to lead the political programs, or you can say the ideology. So the results jolted the Congress at both national and state level. That means results were not favorable for the first time, whether it was at national level or it was at the state level. So the Congress did manage to get a majority in Lok Sabha. So that means Congress was able to get a majority in the Lok Sabha, but with its lowest tally of seats since 1952. For the first time, it got the lowest seats. Half the ministers in Indira Gandhi's cabinet were defeated. So all the sitting MPs, they were defeated. The political stalwarts who lost in the constituencies included K. Kamraj, if you remember the name, from Tamil Nadu, S.K. Patil in Maharashtra, he was the, you must be knowing, he was the chief minister. Atulli Ghosh in West Bengal and KB Sahai in Bihar. So all these stalwarts lost the seats. The Congress lost majority in as many as 7 states. For the first time, there was only one state where there was non-Congress government, and it was Kerala. But what happened now? There were as many as 7 states where Congress lost. In 2 other states, defection prevented it from forming a government. So these defecting leaders, those who, what is defection? Defection means when a leader who is elected from one party, he leaves after winning the seat. He leaves that party and goes to another party, joins it. So because of this, what happened? Congress lost 7 plus 2, that means 9 states. So these states where the Congress lost power, and you need to understand what happened. This is really important, and this question is asked time and again, that if you are traveling from Punjab to Kolkata, you will not find even a single state where you will have a Congress ruled state. You can understand what is the implication of this word. That means these 9 states where Congress lost power were spread across the country. What were these? Punjab, Haryana,
Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal, Orissa, Madras, and Kerala. So you can understand. So in Madras state, now called Tamil Nadu, a regional party, the Dravid Munetra Kajagam, name of the party is Dravid Munetra Kajagam, DMK, came to the power by securing a clear majority. No jod tod ki rajniti. Okay. So see, this is the 1967 election, and when I said that if you are traveling on a train from Punjab and you pass to West Bengal, Kolkata, you will not find even a single state which was ruled by Congress. And see here, the same happened, if you are able to see. So this was the reality. And see here, the line is written. A popular saying was that one could take a train from Delhi to Howrah and not pass through a single Congress-ruled state. It was a strange feeling for those who were used to seeing Congress in power. And this happened in 1960 elections. Okay. Now, era of collision and defection, 1967. Now, what happened? Remember, when you get power, power corrupts man. So what happened? The misuse of Article 356 was so rampant and defection was so popular at that time that even a phrase came to be known as Aya Ram Gaya Ram. Okay, so we will see it. This question is always asked. Sometimes this phrase is given. So here, see, era of collision. In this picture, if you are able to see this Sanyukt Vidhayak Dal, as no single party could attain the majority. So Bihar's SVD, Sanyukt Vidhayal government, formed by SSP and PSP. These were parties at that time. And Punjab Sanyukt Vidhayak Dal government called Popular United Front, formed by this. And you see, keep right, no left turn, no socialism. We are in rightist way. See here, what was defection? So defection, actually, if you see, this became so much popular that you must have seen several movies where these MPs and MLAs, they change their party and take the bribe and money. So this, after taking the benefits of money, when you have got elected from one party and you just leave it and join another party because you were given money as a bribe and you just leave that party. So defection played an important role in the making and unmaking of governments in the states. The breakaway Congress legislators played an important role in installing non-Congress government in 3 states, and those states were Haryana, Madhya Pradesh, and Uttar Pradesh. The constant realignments and shifting political realities in this period gave rise to the expression Aya Ram, Gaya Ram, and this is actually a feat of a Haryana MLA. What he did. Let's see the story of Aya Ram and Gaya Ram. What happened? So defection, extremely important example. So the story of Aya Ram and Gaya Ram. What happened? The expression Aya Ram Gaya Ram became popular in the political vocabulary in India to describe the practice of frequently. So in what context it is used? It is used in India to describe the political practice or frequent floor crossing. So crossing the floor by legislator. Literally translated by terms meant Ram came and Ram went. The expression originated in the amazing feat of crossing floor achieved by Gaya Lal. He was the main person, Gaya Lal, and MLA in Haryana in 1967. He changed his party thrice in fortnight. From Congress, he went to United Front and back to the Congress. And then within 9 hours to United Front again. So that means thrice he changed within 15 days. It is said that when Gaya Lal declared his intention to quit the United Front and join Congress, the Congress leader Rao Birendra Singh brought him to Chandigarh press and declared Gaya Ram was now Aya Ram. So that means he has already left Congress and then came back to once again. So Gaya Lal became Gaya Ram and now he became Aya Ram. because he came back to Congress. But Gaya's feat was immortalized in the phrase Ayaram Gayaram, which became the subject of numerous jokes and cartoons. Later, the constitution was amended to prevent this defection. So, anti defection law came, and in Article 101 of the Indian Constitution, this has been added. So, you need to understand this also. Now, a split of Congress 1969. So, as you know, that there was everything was not right in Congress. Congress had lost almost 9 states. There was a big defeat under Indira Gandhi for the first time, and this gave rise to those leaders who just wanted to oppose Indira Gandhi or who were not happy with Indira Gandhi. So the real challenge to Indira Gandhi came not from opposition, but from within her own party, because she had to deal with syndicates. Remember, a group of powerful and influential leaders from within the Congress, and syndicate leader expected Indira Gandhi to follow their advice. Why did they make Indira Gandhi prime minister? Because they wanted that Indira Gandhi will act as a puppet prime minister. But what happened here? She was not a puppet prime minister. She was very assertive, and Gandhi attempted to assert her position within government and the party. She chose her trusted group of advisors from outside party, and slowly and carefully she sidelined syndicates. So these powerful people were sidelined. So Indira Gandhi adopted a very bold strategy. She converted a simple power struggle into an ideological struggle. That means she was very manipulative, and to manipulative to the extent that for her benefit. So what happened here? She got the Congress Working Committee to adopt a 10-point program in May 1967. Now, what happened? What this program included? This program included social control of banks. So that means for the first time, the banks will be brought under the government. So, nationalization of banks, then nationalization of general insurance, that means LIC, sealing of urban property and income, public distribution of food grains. So these were 10-point programs. You must write about them. What did they include and how it changed? Public distribution food grains, land reforms, and provisions of house sites to rural poor. So these were the main programs which were adopted. Some important decisions like nationalization of banks and abolition of privy purse was done without consulting the finance minister Sri Morarji Desai and other important senior most leader who was in forefront of becoming the prime minister. So what happened? He was not taken in consideration. And privy purse, if you remember what is privy purse? Actually, all these rulers who joined India or princely states who came to India, they were given, you can say, like we provide after pension. So the pension was given by the government for running their households. What happened? This privy purse was abolished by Indira Gandhi, that all these rulers or princely people will not get anything from the government. And now this was a very important thing. While the syndicate leaders formally approved this left-wing program, they had serious reservation about the same. Though they could not oppose Indira Gandhi, but there were several means reservations that why we should give this. Now, what happened? This tussle of power reached to its zenith during the election of president of 1969. And this is important, and this, if you see, picture has been given in your exams time and again and asked the question about it. So if you see this picture, so you will be able to understand. I'll explain this picture first. Let's read about this. What happened? Mrs. Indira Gandhi's reservation, the syndicate managed to nominate her long-time opponent and then Speaker of Lok Sabha N. Sanjeev Reddy as the official Congress candidate for presidential election. Indira Gandhi never wanted that Neelam Sanjeev Reddy, who was a syndicate person, first thing. Then he was the opponent of Indira Gandhi also. So she did not wanted Neelam Sanjeev Reddy to be nominated as the president. But under the pressure of syndicate group, she just nominated. Now, Indira Gandhi reiterated by encouraging the then Vice President V.V. Giri to file his nomination as the independent candidate. So, because that was the official line of Congress to adopt N. Sanjeev Reddy as presidential candidate, so she said the Vice President at that time, V.V. Giri, to file his nomination against N. Sanjeev Reddy. Unofficially, Indira Gandhi supported. When the election came, the then Congress President N. Najalangappa issued a whip and asking all the Congress MPs and MLAs to vote in favor of Neelam Sanjeev Reddy. Now, what is a whip? Whip is issued in Parliament when some important decisions or voting need to take place. And what happens? You cannot go against the whip of the party. Otherwise, your membership will end. So what happened? S. Najalingappa issued a whip. And because of this whip, the official candidate of the party, what happened? After silently supporting V.V. Giri, Indira Gandhi was supporting V.V. Giri silently. The Prime Minister openly called for a conscience vote. She said in the House that you have to have your moral conscience. Remember, this whip is nothing. You just vote whom you want, which meant that the MPs and MLAs from the Congress should be free to vote the way they want, whomever you want. What happened in this election? The election ultimately resulted in the victory of V.V. Giri, the unofficial candidate, independent candidate, to defeat N. Sanjeev Reddy, Neelam Sanjeev Reddy, the official candidate of the Congress. And this defeat of the Congress official candidate formalized the split in the party. And the Congress group led by Syndicate came to be referred to as the Congress O. That means organization. Whereas the group led by Indira Gandhi came to be called as the Congress R, requisionists. So if you see here, in this picture, you are able to see that this person who is standing, he is V.V. Giri, and he is being supported by Indira Gandhi. If you see, she is having gloves. See here, these are gloves. And here, the official Congress candidate, Neelam Sanjeev Reddy, is lying down in a battle of, you can say, fight. He was, and he is S. Najalingappa, the president of Congress, this person who is just kneeling down. So this led to the finally splitting the Congress into two parts. Now, what happened? The 1971 elections and restoration of the Congress. So Congress, which lost in 1967 as many as 9 states, what happened? And there was a split in Congress. So after a split of the Congress in 1969, Congress reduced Indira Gandhi government to a minority. As the Congress was reduced to minority government, yet her government continued in office with the issue-based support for a few other parties, including Communist Party of India and DMK. So DMK and Communist Party of India supported Indira Gandhi during this time, though she was, her government became into a minority. So Indira Gandhi's government recommended the dissolution of Lok Sabha in December 1970. By 1970, Indira Gandhi has taken several measures like abolition of private purse, Land Ceiling Act, and nationalization of banks. Pro-poor programs, 20-point programs were launched, and she wanted to remove poverty. So this was another surprising and bold move. If your government is running properly, why you want to dissolve? But still, Indira Gandhi did not want any support from any party. She wanted to do or to go by herself. So the fifth general election of Lok Sabha were held in February 1971. And what happens in this? See here, the contest between 1971 elections, there was Congress R and Grand Alliance. Now, if you talk about the Congress R, one faction of old Congress party led by Indira Gandhi, whereas Grand Alliance included coalition of the Congress O, second part, that means syndicate part, then PSP, SSP, Bharatiya Jan Sangh, and Swatantra Party. So this Bharatiya Jan Sangh, which later on turned out to become the Bharatiya Janata Party. So these all were together, standing together. Agenda of Indira Gandhi was Garibi Hatao, land reforms in public sector, growth. So these were the main agenda which Indira Gandhi focused, whereas the agenda of Grand Alliance was only one and one. They never wanted to give an alternative. They only wanted to remove Indira Gandhi. Indira Hatao inka official slogan tha. You need to understand. So, verdict of 1971 election, Grand Alliance turned into grand failure. That means it could not keep a record. The Congress and CPI won 375 seats, and Indira's Congress alone got 352 seats out of this. So you need to understand that the combined tally of seats of Grand Alliance was less than 40 seats. Not even 40 seats they could manage to win. And with this victory, Congress are claimed to be the real Congress, Viquisness. And after that, the name of Congress R was changed to Congress I. Ab I for India or Indira, you can understand. So Congress's victory through picture and caricatures, you can see in all seats, whether it is first, second, or third, everywhere it's only Indira who won the elections. So you can understand, and all the old Grand Alliance, the failure could secure only 40 seats. And why this happened? This cup or this victory was given because of her pro-poor policies. So the vote bank of Congress was Dalit, unemployed, women, peasants, etc. So restoration of Congress. So was this the restoration of Congress? Was it the old Congress which was restored? That is the question which we need to understand. So if we need to understand, what Indira Gandhi had done was not a revival of old Congress party. She did not revive the old Congress party. In many ways, she had reinvented the party, its programs, policies, everything now as per Indira Gandhi. It relied entirely on the popularity of supreme leader, and that is the case which we are able to see in present scenario also, that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is one of the supreme popular leader, not in India, in the world also. Wherever he stands, it will bring him votes. The same was the case with Indira Gandhi. It had a somewhat weak organizational structure. Though Congress had weak organizational structure, but people were strong. Popularity of Indira Gandhi was strong. So this Congress party now did not have many factions. Those who opposed Indira Gandhi, they were thrown out of the party. Those who differed from her vision, they were removed. So thus it could not accommodate all kinds of opinion and straits. It was no more a rainbow organization, you can say. While it won elections, it depended more on some social groups like the poor, the women, Dalit, Adivasis, and minority. This was a new Congress that has emerged. Thus, Indira Gandhi restored the Congress system by changing the nature of Congress system itself. She changed even the nature of the Congress system from being inclusive of all groups. It became only the dominant leader's choice and dominant leader's ideological group. So much, I will just ask you to join Swayam Educational Foundation. This is a charitable initiative, and it is working for the providing the Shiksha Dan, online classes and live classes, we are just going to provide and begin with this. We have initiated three projects: Virangana, the warrior, where we are providing the self-defense; Shikshadan for weaker sections, and everyone who want to just have the guidance, they can come here. And the third one is female health and hygiene, the Womenarch project, where we are going to install free of cost in different schools sanitary pad dispensers. So this is our vision which we are going through, because we want that your even webinar or your period should not lead to your education loss for those 5 days. So why should you lose your education for those 5 days? So you have to be in school at any cost. So this is our vision. I will say, if you want to become a member, just join our organization. We will provide you the link and every other thing. Thank you so much. God bless you all.